Hello, my name is Stuart, and at Potcoms I like to help our clients create narrative-led, customer-centric presentations. And today I'd like to show you an example from a long-term client of ours, Fujitsu. Fujitsu were a relatively new player to the cybersecurity market and were up against some well-established competition. They wanted a presentation which could be used by the sales team to both current and prospective customers. Working with Fujitsu, we set out to make sure the presentation achieved 4 things. 1, it was to start conversations around cybersecurity. 2, it was to provide a narrative for the sales team to use with the ability to drill into more information. 3, it needed to raise awareness and establish credibility of Fujitsu's cybersecurity. And 4, and most importantly, it didn't need to be product or solution focused, but instead built around the customer as a real communication consultative piece. We're starting conversations in mind. At the beginning of the presentation, we introduced the idea of global trends. Now, senior leaders are probably aware of all of these issues that are on screen, but may not understand the security implications of each one. So by having these on screen and this visual which represents the customer's environment, it really helps to ground the conversation at an early point, showing that the topics and conversations that we're talking about are strategic and not product focused at all. With global trends talked about, we then introduced the idea of customer challenges. Now, this is the opportunity in the presentation to really get the customer to open up. Given the right cues and given the right prompts, they're more than willing to discuss detailed issues with you. What we have here is what we call interactive navigation. Now, this is the ability for the salesperson to drill down into any section of the presentation at any time, given the right cues or prompts. It's very important to ensure that this navigation is very clear because it acts as both a cue for the sales team but also the customer to prompt and ask questions. So if we look at a specific challenge, it's very important to pay attention to the type of questions or the information that's in here. What we're really doing is prompting the customer and getting them to open up about the challenges that they face and talk about them in a way that our products or solutions can meet their needs later on in the presentation. As you can see here, we've got our interactive navigation again. What we're showing is that we can move between different sections of the presentation whenever the customer wants to talk about it. It's really showing that the presentation is built around them and what they want to discuss. So now that we've discussed global trends and we've looked at specific customer challenges, we can really start to steer the conversation more towards Fujitsu. And we do this in a way that isn't product focused still. We're still looking at introducing top level questions. We're having a strategic conversation, getting them to think how these trends and challenges can be tackled and talking these questions through in as much detail or as much information that the customer needs. So because we've taken the opportunity at the beginning of the presentation to talk about global trends, specific customer challenges, and introducing this new way of thinking to tackle these problems, we can actually start talking a bit more about specific product information. Because we've shown this thought leadership at the beginning, the customer is a lot more receptive to the sales messaging. We've shown the credibility and thought leadership we need to at the beginning. The salesperson can bring up product information and then start to really divulge about how these products help meet the challenges that the customers talked about at the beginning of the presentation. So within this presentation, we've really set out to achieve the 4 things that we wanted to do with Fujitsu. 1, it started conversations around cybersecurity. 2, it really provided the narrative that the sales team needed. 3, it raised awareness and established the credibility of Fujitsu Cyber Security. And number 4, and most importantly, this isn't a product-based presentation. This is really built around the customer and their needs. Now, we believe all presentations should be like this. They should be built around the customer. They should feature navigation which allows for a personalised story, and the result of this is a very profitable and valuable conversation with the customer. Now, if you'd like any help, then please feel free to get in touch, and thank you very much for watching this video.